Hi everyone. Today's video is going to be a little bit about the history of my journey on making a living online. Um, I do love coffee, and this coffee is from the Dominican Republic. Hopefully next year I'll be able to make a trip out there, and I'll certainly record the events, but you got to subscribe and you got to like my videos so you don't miss any of that. Anyways, a little bit about the history on me earning a living online. Let's go back about 15 years. It was a rough trek. I remember one of the first businesses I tried and failed was purchasing electronics on eBay, basically going over them, testing them, and reselling them in an attempt to make a profit. I was lucky to make $20 a week on that business. So that was a complete, didn't work out. So I let that go. On to the next business. I thought it'd be a wonderful idea to import cat trees. Now, I don't know if you guys know what cat trees are. Cat trees or cat furniture are those little carpeted things that cats like to crawl up on, sleep on. And I was able to get a good price on 100 of them. So I found a vendor in China. I went to, I think it was Alibaba, and had a conversation with this Chinese person who had this pet product factory in Hangzhou, China, if I even said that correctly. So after a conversation and negotiating and whatnot, I was able to buy a bundle of 100 cat trees. I went ahead and contacted a customs broker and got everything arranged. Now, I had to pay up front that money. The way it works is you have to, because it's not a huge $1 million order, I think it was maybe around $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, if my memory serves me correct. I had to send this money to this Chinese factory, for which I maybe had a 30-minute conversation with, and probably understood about 20% of what he was saying, because the English was really hard to understand. And I don't know if he understood my English either. So I put together this money and I sent it. And that was a nerve-wracking experience for me, but I believed in it and I went through with it. So I sent the money, they procured the order, they let me know it went on this ship. The shipping time was something like 30 or 40 days. And I waited the month and a half. Then when it arrived at port, my customs broker called. I believe that's how it went. So I had to pick up 100 cat trees. I had I think it was a bill of lading or something. I don't know, something like 5,000 or 6,000 pounds I had to pick up. Well, I really didn't have the money at that time to hire a company to pick this up. So, me and my infinite wisdom, well, I can do this myself. So I go rent a U-Haul, I drive down to the port, I show up, and they're like, well, here's your inventory. So I loaded these cat trees, which were basically made out of particle board or particle wood, which is really dense and heavy. I put 100 of these in this truck. I drove them back, and I had to rent out a little storage unit, a 10 by 10 unit, and then I had to unload it into this storage unit. So that day, went home, took a shower, laid in my bed and just died. The next morning, I started to list them on eBay. And I would list them basically at double the price that my cost was. So if my cost was, say, $60, I would list them for $120. They weren't selling. Kept dropping the price, dropping the price, dropping the price. They're sitting in my storage unit. My storage unit is costing me money every month. Long story short, I was able to sell them for $5 above my cost each, and they would sell probably, I would sell 2 or 3 a week. With that business, I basically broke even. The only thing that was broke was my back from moving these things, because I had to, each one that I would sell, the only reasonable place that I could take it to be shipped, because these boxes were so heavy, was at the time it was a DHL center about 10 miles away near the airport. So I'd have to go to the storage, pick one up, throw it in the trunk of my car, drive down to DHL, Fort Lauderdale International Airport, and mail it or ship it. I stopped that business. That didn't work. So the next business that I did after that was, well, why don't I just build these trees myself? I can build them out of better quality. I can use real wood, not that particle board. So I went to Home Depot. I bought plywood and 2x4s. I bought carpet. I bought a staple gun, a heavy duty one. And I would be building these things to sell. I would build them bigger. I built like 3 or 4 of them. I did end up selling them, but what I made from it, it wasn't worth it. I would have done better, working for minimum wage somewhere. If you do the math for the hours of work versus what was made. Plus, it was really hard work building those things, and to wrap carpet around plywood and then that Cecil rope around the posts wasn't worth it. At least not selling them on eBay. Maybe if they were in a different selling channel, possibly could have earned better. But at the time, I was just a one-man operation, and I just didn't have the means for that, or distribution channels or anything like that set up. So from that, I decided to do websites. And the websites, I started to see some income. I was always into computing and programming. And when I was building these websites, it was long hours. I would basically work through the night, because that way, no interruptions. And it was nice because it wasn't like manual labor, and it was something that I enjoyed doing and had a passion for. So I would be building these websites, putting these websites on eBay, selling them. A lot of the customers would come back to me telling me that, hey, I got this special need, I'm doing this business, I need a website for that. So those were the opportunities where I could charge a good amount of money. So I did pretty good making websites. I quickly learned, as you will see in another video, how I got into web hosting. Was the money was not so much into the websites as more so into web hosting. Excuse me. So I realized when I was selling these websites, I wasn't selling the hosting. I was basically suggesting, I'll load it on your GoDaddy account or whatnot. But then they'd come back to me later, hey, something's not working right. Can you log into my hosting account and make an adjustment, whatnot? So that's when I got the brilliant idea, why don't I become a web host? So I can host my own customers. So in 2008, I started JigsHost. And that's what I was doing, hosting my own customers. It was great because not only was it very easy for me to access their website when they wanted me to do a rendition or an adjustment or an update or change something on the website that they wanted, their phone number, address, but I would also receive a residual income from it. They would pay me at the time, I think I was charging $10 a month to host the website. And it was a lot of customers. So it was good. I liked it. What started happening was I created a website, a hosting website, a very generic. I wish I had a image of it, and I had a different name. I think the name at the time was WebHostPlex. And if you go to the Internet Archives and go to like 2008, webhostplex.com, you'll see the original website. It's hideous. But it was a website. I needed something just quick, up and running that I directed my customers to go ahead and register for their hosting. And they would create, on there I had 3 buttons of PayPal subscribe or PayPal subscription buttons, because I didn't have a merchant account at that time. I didn't take credit cards. It was just PayPal. So they would just click the subscribe button and it would create a subscription for the payments to be automated. It was beautiful. I would wake up every morning and there'd be money in my account. Wow, I didn't do work on that website, but I still got paid just for hosting the website. So then I started receiving inquiries about hosting websites that I didn't create. And that was the beginning of the end of me creating websites and me becoming a bona fide web host. From then on, I solely focused on being a web host. And I have another video that you'll see how I started to become a web host. It was about a week ago I did the video. And if you're interested, go ahead and take a look at that. So that gives you a little bit of my history on how I became financially independent working online. I love it. It's not easy, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I plan to do this working online until I'm ready to not work anymore, which hopefully is a very, very long time. I will be making these videos, 3, 4, 5 videos a week. Hopefully you like my content and you subscribe and you'll like this video. I appreciate it very much. So that's all I have for now. If you have any questions, if you want to know anything, post them down below. I will respond to, I promise, every single inquiry. And that's all I have for now. Have a great day. Have an awesome week. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you subscribe. Please like my video and have an awesome day. Bye.